The rumor about Lansen traveled across Scandinavia. The wind carries the legend along the Swedish fjords. They say he came from the north. There, during his march through the lands of the icy giants, this Viking lost his entire squad. 100 housecarls. No one knows what destroyed them. Only Lansen survived. He's just come back, but he's already eager to go to the edge of the world again. And woe unto those who dare to stand in his way.
The Lansen is a Tier 8 Swedish premium medium tank. Its spirit was forged in the Rocky Mountains, tempered in the ice fjords. And as a stern Norseman, this tank is a true hunter. The maximum speed of this Viking is 50 kilometers per hour. Quite standard for a medium tank, but it picks up speed very quickly. The vehicle is equipped with an engine made by the Swedish company Volvo. 28 horsepower per ton makes climbing the hills nice and easy. The vehicle's crossing capacity on soft terrains is above average. The swamps and bogs shouldn't be a problem for a true hunter. There are no surprises with its reverse speed. Just a good standard 20 kilometers per hour. It's enough to roll back into cover unpunished after taking a shot. The Lansen's only disadvantage is its traverse speed. The Swedish medium tank doesn't turn around so fast. But this won't affect the overall impression of the tank. The maneuverability is decent.
Lansen headed to the far north once again. He understood that 100 housecarls and strong armor had just slowed him down last time. Now the Viking threw off these shackles and became as free as the wind. Lansen crossed bogs and climbed mountains with ease, avoided the enemy tribes, and relentlessly moved farther and farther, towards the goal only he knew about. During his journey, he had no regrets about dropping his mail armor. Well, maybe just once.
You always pay for great mobility, and often you pay for it with your armor. The Lansen C is no exception. Cold figures look like this. Well, obviously, it can't exchange fire with the enemy on the first line. In most cases, it won't end well. However, it's not that straightforward. Due to the decent sloping of its front armor and turret, the Lansen can sometimes repel shells. You shouldn't rely on this, of course, but occasionally you'll hear the pleasant clang of armor.
Lansen traveled through the lands of fog and ice. Doubts assailed him, and this premonition didn't fail the Viking. An icy giant, one of the first inhabitants of this world, arose right in front of him. One of those who will take the people's place during Ragnarok. The giant attacked so suddenly that Lansen didn't have time to dodge. The creature bound the Viking in ice and started methodically trampling him. No armor, no help, but also no fear. Lansen had to find a way out of this.
The vehicle's survivability doesn't just depend on the armor. Thanks to its low silhouette, the Lansen has excellent concealment. Yes, there are sneakier vehicles out there, but this value is still impressive. And if you train your crew with a corresponding perk, you can feel pretty good about yourself. Let's do a small test. Meet the XM551 Sheridan with fully trained view range as our opponent. Let's first give a hint to our scout of where to find the Lansen C. Now start the test. The immobile Swedish medium tank will be spotted only at a distance of 116 meters. When playing aggressively, spot, roll back, fire. You'll get spotted at 257 meters. Nice result.
The giant triumphed. He thought he had crushed the Viking. He thought the Viking was already at the gates of Valhalla. But Lansen had other plans. The Viking hit the creature in the eye and disappeared before it could yell with pain. The half-blinded giant dashed forward, but Lansen was no longer there. Smirking, he flanked the enemy. The Viking knew that if he can see the enemy, but remains unspotted, the outcome is predetermined. However, this was just the beginning.
Let's talk about the most important thing, the gun. A peculiar feature of this Swede is the formidable combination of two gun characteristics, damage per shot and reload time. Together they give the Lansen one of the best damage per minute numbers among all Tier 8 medium tanks. Its DPM is 2,087 hit points. Only the Object 416 is better than the Lansen in this regard. The armor penetration with a standard shell is 208 millimeters and 242 millimeters with APCR. Plus, the aiming time and dispersion are decent. But these are only basic characteristics. You can make the vehicle even fiercer. Equip the Viking with the tank gun rammer, improved ventilation, and either coated optics or gun stabilizer to your taste. Train your crew with concealment, brothers in arms, smooth ride, and snapshot to make shooting more convenient. Situational awareness and recon to improve view range. Supply them with coffee with cinnamon buns. And don't forget about the 6 cents perk for the commander. After this, the vehicle immediately becomes better.
Here it is, the edge of the world, the place where it all began. This is Fenrir, the monstrous wolf, the harbinger of Ragnarok, and the apocalypse in and of itself. Long ago, we gods managed to put him in chains, in which he should have remained until the end of times. However, the chains are tearing apart. We gathered 100 of volunteers and ordered them to chain Fenrir again. But as soon as they approached him, the beast tempted them. He promised them wealth and fame if they would break his shackles. They all believed him, all but Lansen. He had to slay his mad brothers. But defeating Fenrir was beyond his power. He didn't have a weapon. So I, All-Father, took my own spear and descended to the world of mortals. To give it to the Viking, to the one who has resisted the temptation, to the one who can handle the weapon of Odin.
In addition to its great gun and dynamics, the Lansen C has excellent gun depression angles, -10. Add its good concealment, and we get a gameplay option for this vehicle. Occupy your favorite bush, fire, and roll back into cover. If the 6th sense doesn't activate, you can return and repeat. Just remember that it's important for the team that you survive and show up to the final clash. If you fall back and hide from enemy sight, you can fulfill your damage dealer potential. The Lansen is also useful on city maps. Roll with your allies in one direction, and then judge from the circumstances. If the enemy has an advantage, stand tall and defend or retreat. Otherwise, devour your enemies with your insatiable pack. Just remember the tank's weaknesses. use its strengths. It's the winning strategy.
At last, we found the one who is ready to go to the edge of the world. The gods won't forget it. The gods will reward you. Here he is. Here's the hero who will defeat Fenrir. Are you ready?